Star Wars canon is in constant motion, constantly adding new Jedi and Sith characters alike, although the introduction of new Sith Lords is far more rare than the introduction of new Jedi. In fact, as compared to Star Wars Legends, Star Wars canon has very few Sith Lords that have been confirmed, with the villains of the sequel trilogy Kylo Ren and Snoke far long been confirmed not to be Sith Lords but simply dark side wielders. However, we do know of the Sith Lords in Star Wars canon, and even a few ancient Sith Lords, so today I wanted to make an updated list on all of the canon Sith Lords, of which there are 8. But first, I need to make an important distinction. There are several characters in the Star Wars mythos, such as Asajj Ventress and Savage Opress, who have claimed to be Sith. Unfortunately though, they were not selected as the pure apprentice of the reigning Sith Lord of that era, and therefore they were not Sith Lords, even though they may have claimed to be, with Asajj Ventress sort of giving it to herself. But in the case of Savage Opress, with him being deemed a Sith Lord by his older brother and master Maul. However, at that time, Maul himself wasn't even a true Sith Lord, as he had been replaced by Darth Tyrannus, making Savage Opress an illegitimate Sith. And then of course in other aspects of Star Wars we have characters such as the Inquisitors, who themselves never claim to be Sith Lords but are dark side wielders. But today we will be discussing the 8 canon Sith Lords, as they fall under one Dark Lord of the Sith, or they are the Dark Lord of the Sith themselves, with Star Wars taking several hints from the Legends continuity and adding several Legends Sith Lords into canon, as well as making several ancient Sith Lords of their own. So today we will be breaking down and talking about all 8 of the canon Sith Lords as updated for 2019 thus far. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. First off, we have Darth Vader, who was deemed a Dark Lord of the Sith by his master, Darth Sidious. Darth Vader of course being the most famous of all Sith Lords and the former chosen one, Anakin Skywalker, who doesn't need an introduction. Before this, we had the Sith Lord Darth Tyrannus, or more popularly known throughout the galaxy, Count Dooku, himself being a former Jedi and apprentice of Yoda. Dooku was of course one of the 2 reigning Sith Lords during the Clone Wars conflict, and had a heated rivalry with Anakin Skywalker before Skywalker himself would join the Order of the Sith, with Dooku eventually being beheaded and then replaced again by Skywalker. Before Dooku, we had Darth Maul the Fierce. Darth Maul the Fierce was the original apprentice of Darth Sidious, the one true reigning Sith Lord of the former Sith that we just discussed. Darth Maul was trained as a pure assassin, but was in fact in canon deemed a true Sith Lord. However, after he was believed to have been killed on the planet of Naboo, his master Darth Sidious replaced him with another, that being the fallen Jedi Darth Tyrannus. But again, Darth Maul was the first apprentice in a long line that would end with Darth Vader. After this, of course, we have Darth Sidious, the one true Sith Lord over the Skywalker saga of movies. Darth Sidious is another Sith Lord that requires no introduction, and was the Sith that finally conquered the Republic and the Jedi Order. Darth Sidious is also quite possibly the most powerful Sith Lord on this list, and will be returning in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, by unknown means. Darth Sidious's master was Darth Plagueis the Wise, someone who we've never directly seen in Star Wars canon, but we know a lot about. According to his apprentice Darth Sidious, Darth Plagueis was unbelievably powerful, even using the ability to conquer life and death by manipulating the midichlorians. Unfortunately for him though, he would be betrayed by Darth Sidious in his sleep and killed. Next in the lineage of the Sith Lords, we have our first ancient Sith Lord, as we don't really know the connecting tissue between Darth Plagueis and this ancient Sith. Nonetheless, this Dark Lord of the Sith was made canon thanks to the Clone Wars in a vision by Yoda, and it is Darth Bane. Darth Bane being most notable as the Dark Lord of the Sith that created the Rule of Two, and the first Sith Lord that created the line of Sith Lords that would eventually destroy the Jedi Order. There's far more information about Darth Bane in Star Wars Legends, but as of the canon depiction, which of course we're going off of in this video, we don't have a lot. Next up, I would like to make a brief correction to this video. There are actually 9 Sith Lords that we know about, and we'll discuss the next in the lineage right now. This being the Lady of the Sith known as Shaw, stemming from an era of Sith Lords where they were not taking the title of Darth just yet, as Darth Bane is the first canon Sith Lord to take the title of Darth. We know next to nothing about the Dark Lord Lady Shaw, other than the fact that she trained one of the most powerful Sith Lords in existence, Lord Mammon. And of course next up we have Lord Mammon himself. Lord Mammon being described as a sculptor of the dark side of the Force, and someone that was frowned upon by the rest of the Sith Order. Lord Mammon was also a Sith Lord that, using his mask, was able to hide his very very essence within it, and returned after his physical death and plagued beings such as Darth Vader, although Darth Vader, using his own skill in the dark side of the Force, would eventually destroy Lord Maul. And finally, the ninth and final Sith Lord that we know about, Darth Atreus. Darth Atreus is unique as he's a Sith Lord similar to Darth Plagueis that doesn't actually physically appear. All we really know of Darth Atreus is that he was extremely skilled in lightsaber combat, and that his very lightsabers were cursed because of it. It is in fact Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader that come into possession of two of Darth Atreus' lightsabers, and this is what they had to say about it. The lightsaber of Darth Atreus, a powerful weapon. So much rage was channeled through this blade. They say it resonates with the anger Atreus wielded when he cut down his enemies. Darth Atreus stemmed from an era of Sith Lords where the Sith were extremely powerful, as well as stemming from an era of Sith Lords where they wielded cross-guarded lightsabers. Darth Atreus was eventually killed by a group of Jedi, but his lightsaber skills and ferocity was renowned throughout both the Sith and Jedi orders, his lightsabers carrying on his essence following his death. But those are the 9 canon Sith Lords that we know about in Star Wars currently, with again more likely being added by the end of the year, and we'll be sure to cover them when they are. Thank you guys as always so much for watching, and I want to know in the comments below, out of this list, who is your favorite Sith Lord? May the Force be with you guys, and have a great day.